No, he did not.
Hey, Scout, how come your dad defends colors?
You gonna take that back, boy?
Make me.
I'd love to.
Scout, that defends colors. My folks say your dad is a disgrace. And that black man ought to hang from the water tank.
You take that back, boy.
Scout, I told you to come in.
It was Macomb, Alabama, and it was 1935 when I was that girl. Back when the ugly names were first shouted at us. Back at the beginning of an experience that brought a man to his death. And it brought Boo Radley storming out of that shut-up old house. The attack on me, Jim's broken arm, another man killed. But that's not why my mind's come back here. That's not what I'm trying to remember. You see, there's something I have to do. Something my father wanted. Perhaps enough years have gone by now, enough so I can actually do the one thing my father asked. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. When he gave us airsoft rifles, he asked us never to kill a mockingbird.
Your father's right. Mockingbirds just make music. They don't eat in people's gardens, don't nest in people's corn cribs. They don't do one thing but sing their hearts out. That's why it's a sin to kill a mockingbird.
Miss Maudie, this is an old neighborhood, ain't it?
It's been here longer than the town.
No, I mean the folks on our street are old. Jim and me's the only children. Mr. Bowles is nearly 100, and you're old, Atticus is old, everyone is old.
I'm not being wheeled around yet. Neither's your father. You and Jem have the benefit of his age. If he was 30, you'd find life quite different.
I sure would. Atticus can't do anything.
You'd be surprised. There's life in him yet.
What can he do?
Quite a lot. Seems to me like you should be proud of him.
Proud of him? The way most folks go on, you'd think he was making moonshine or something.
We lived over there. Atticus, my brother Jim, and Calpurnia, our cook, who raised us.
Scout, you come in and get washed up before your father gets home.
I'm watching for Atticus.
Jim is already washed up. Why can't you behave as well as him?
Because he's older than me, and you know.
Don't give me that. Get in there.
Cal's hand was hard as a bed slab. My mother died when I was nearly 2, so I never really felt her absence, but I felt Cal's tyrannical presence as long as I could remember.
Water's too hot.
Better keep scrubbing.
Even in 1935, Macomb, Alabama was already a tired old town. In rainy weather, the street turned to red slop. Grass grew on the sidewalks, and the courthouse sagged in the square. That there's Heck Tate, the sheriff, and Judge Taylor.
Atticus, you home?
Not yet, Mr. Heck. Afternoon, Judge Taylor.
Cal, tell him we're passing by.
You want me to call?
We'll be seeing him anyway.
All right. People moved slowly then, and somehow it was hotter. The day was 24 hours long, but it seemed longer. There was nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to buy, no money to buy it with.
Lack of money is no excuse to let a place go like that. The least they could do is cut the Johnson grass and rabbit tobacco. But of course, they're Radleys.
Miss Stephanie Crawford, the neighborhood scold. According to her, everybody in Macomb had a streak. A drinking streak, a gambling streak, a mean streak, a funny streak.
No Atkinson minds his own business. Every third Merriweather is morbid. The truth is not in the Delafields. All the Bufords walk like that. If Mrs. Gray sips gin out of soda bottles, it is nothing unusual. Her mother did the same.
She was also your principal source of information about Boo Radley.
When the boy was in his teens, he picked up some bad ones from Old Sarah. They were arrested on charges of disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, assault and battery, and using abusive and profane language in the presence and hearing of a female. Boo was released to his father, who shut him up in that house, and he wasn't seen again for 15 years.
I'd have to ask, as she intended, Miss Stephanie, what happened 15 years later?
Well, the boy was sitting in his living room, cutting up some items from the Macomb Tribune and put it in a scrapbook. As his father walked by, Boo drove his scissors into his dad's leg, pulled him out, wiped him on his pants, and then resumed his activities. Mr. Radley said no Radley was going to any asylum, so he shut him up in that house, and he hasn't been seen since.
How do you know he's still in there?
Well, I haven't seen him carried out yet.
Jim and I hadn't seen him either. That didn't come till later, and when it did, we were in no condition to take up much notice. Being in fear of our lives. People said Boo came out when the moon was low, and when Azealis froze in a cold snap, it was because he breathed on it. The Radley pecan trees shook their fruit to the adjoining schoolyard out back, but the nuts lay untouched. Radley pecans could kill you, A ball hit to the Radley yard was a lost ball. No questions asked. That there's my brother Jim. Before the fight where he got his arm broken. Why, it looks to me like Jim's playing in the Rose Bowl for Alabama. He's about to score the winning touchdown.
Where are you going this time of day, Jeremy Finch? Playing hooky, I suppose. I'll just call it the principal and tell him.
It's Saturday, Mrs. DuBose.
I wonder if your father knows where you are.
Of course he does.
Maudie Atkinson told me you broke down her arbor. She's going to tell your father, then you'll wish you'd never seen the light of day.
I never been near her arbor.
Don't you contradict me. You weren't sent to reform school before the end of the week, then my name's not too close.
Miss Henry Lafayette DuBose. If she was on our porch where Jim ran past, we'd be raked by her wrathful gaze, subjected to ruthless interrogation, and then given a very unfortunate prediction on what we'd amount to when we grew up, which was always nothing. Jim and I hated her. We had no idea what she was actually going through.
Miss Cal.
Reverend Sides of the First Purchase Church, called First Purchase because it was paid for from the first earnings of the freed slaves.
Afternoon, Reverend.
Afternoon. It's about Brother Tom Robinson's trouble. We really had to do more for his wife and children.
Yes, Reverend.
And the collection for the next 3 Sundays will go to Helen. Please encourage everyone to bring what they can.
Well, why are y'all taking up a collection for Tom Robinson's wife?
To tell you the truth, Miss Jean, Helen's finding it hard to get work these days.
Why? I mean, I know Tom Robinson's done something awful, but why won't folks hire Helen?
Folks aren't anxious to have anything to do with his family.
George is there at his party, hear?
I hear, Pa.
Bob Yule and his daughter Mayella. No truant officer could keep any of the Yules in school. No public health officer could keep them free from filth or disease. Good times or bad, they lived off the counter, in a small shack by the garbage dump near the Negro settlement. At the end of the day, the only thing that made Bob Yule feel any better than his nearest neighbor was that if he scrubbed his skin real hard with lye soap and very, very hot water, his skin was white.
Well, why'd you stop talking? Those are just the Yules.
Remembering it now, I'm not surprised they stopped talking.
I got a lot of calls to make. Goodbye, Miss Jean. See you Sunday, Miss Cal.
Reverend.
Bye. But Cal, what did Tom Robinson do exactly?
You mean what do they say he did? Old Bob Yule accused him of attacking his girl, had him put in jail.
But everyone in Macomb County knows about the Yules, and you think folks would be glad to hire him.
That's what you would think.
Well, what does it mean when they say he, attacked her?
You'll have to ask Mr. Finch about that. Are you hungry?
No, I'm watching for Atticus. Besides, there's Dill.
That was the summer Dill came to us. Dill, who was the first to give us the idea of making Boo Radley come out.
Hey, Dill.
His real name was Charles Baker Harrison. He was not from around here. He came to spend summers with his aunt. We came to know Dill as a pocket room, whose head teemed with eccentric plans, quaint fancies, and strange longings. He was to be my childhood fiancé, which is nice for a girl, even if he wasn't very big. I'm little, he told me one time, but I'm old.
Are you waiting for your father to come home?
Sure am. What about your daddy?
What do you mean?
Well, you never say anything about him.
It's because I haven't got one.
Is he dead? Well, if he isn't dead, then you've got one, silly.
Never mind her,
If his
Jill.
daddy's not dead, Jim, he's got one.
So,
It's only Nathan Radley.
When old Mr. Radley died, people thought Boo might come out, but they had another thing coming. His older brother Nathan, that's him, came and took his daddy's place. At least Nathan Radley would talk to us.
how to do, Mr. Nathan?
Afternoon.
Looking back for a place to begin. Perhaps it's with what happens next.
Now Boo Radley's in there all by himself.
Wonder what he does. Looks like he would stick out his head the door sometimes.
I've seen his tracks in our backyard many a morning. I've even heard him scratching on our back screen.
Wonder what he looks like.
Well, judging by his tracks, he's about 6.5 feet tall, eats raw squirrels and any cats he can catch. His eyes bulge out, all teeth he has are yellow and rotten, and most of the time he drools.
Let's make him come out.
Make Boo Radley come out?
You want to get yourself killed? All you have to do is go up and knock on that door.
You're scared. Too scared to put your big toe in the front yard.
I ain't scared, just respectful.
I dare you.
Don't Don't you dare go near that
You dare
house.
me?
You gonna run out in the dare?
No, think a minute.
Just get your football.
Get my football?
He will probably come after you. Then Scout and me will jump on him and hold him down till we can tell him we just want to look at him.
Don't hurry me.
We're right behind you. People where I come from aren't so scared. I've never seen such scared people as here.
Jim, wait!
There, I did it! He saw me!
There's someone at the window. Look at the curtains. They moved.
Don't you ever do that again, Jim Finch. We'll become violent because already so old. And what would happen
Where
to
did you
me?
get the chewing gum, Scout?
That will not hold it.
That tree?
Yeah?
Spit it out! Spit it out right now!
No!
Suppose Boo Radley put it in there. Suppose it's poison. You go gargle.
It take the taste out of my mouth.
Let's throw a pebble against the door. As soon as he sticks his head out, we tell him we want to buy him an ice cream. That will seem friendly. Maybe if he came out more often and sat with us, maybe he would feel better.
Well, how do you know he doesn't feel good now?
How would you feel if being shut up for 100 years in that house with nothing but cats and squirrels to eat? Of course, if you rather
You better leave it to me. How many times do I have to keep on showing you guys?
Maybe you touched it, but that doesn't mean anything.
I guess I have to keep on showing you then. Jim!
Atticus?
Your father?
Hey, Atticus.
Jim? Just what were you about to do?
Nothing, sir.
I won't have any of that now. Tell me.
We were, I was gonna throw a pebble at the Radley place to get Boo Radley to come out.
Why?
Because, sir, we thought he might enjoy us.
I see. Son, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm only gonna tell you one time. Do not bother that man.
But Atticus,
What Mr. Radley does is his own business. If he wants to stay inside, he has the right to stay inside. Free from the attention of inquisitive children. How would you like it if I barged into your room one night without knocking?
That's different.
Is it?
We're not crazy.
What Mr. Radley does might seem peculiar to us, but it does not seem peculiar to him.
Anyone who sits inside all the
And
time.
that's his decision. Now I've got something to ask of you. All of you. If you do it, I promise you'll get along better with all kinds. You see, you never really understand a person until you see things from their point of view.
Sir,
Until you get inside their skin and walk around.
you want us to consider things from Boo Radley's point of view?
He means everyone.
you stay out of this deal.
Deal's right. Though I expect I'm asking too much. And there's Walter Cunningham.
I've got a much better plan. See you.
I do.
Good afternoon, Walter. One moment. Regardless of any plans, you're to stay away from that house, you hear?
Yes, sir.
Here's a view, Mr. Finch. Turnip greens.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to pay in cash for your service.
This'll do just fine, Walter. Jamie, please take these to Calpurnia. Now let's see. We left a load of stove wood in the backyard and a sack of hickory nuts. At Christmas there was a crate of Smilex and holly, and now a bag of turnip greens? Walter, I'm more than paid.
If you say so.
I think I go to school with your boy, sir. He's in my class, and the other day we had a disagreement.
I have a few that's up myself, little lady.
Well, I didn't actually beat him up bad this time.
Scout.
Atticus.
Well, if he can't defend himself against a girl, I guess he'll just have to take it. Much obliged, Mr. Finch.
Anytime I can be available.
Atticus, why is he always paid with stove wood and turnip greens?
That's the only way he can.
Are we poor, Atticus?
We are indeed.
As poor as the Cunninghams?
Not quite. You see, the Cunninghams are country folk, so the Depression hit them hardest.
Oh, well, I've been waiting for you to get home.
Hey,
all
Atticus! Catch!
Hold on to it, son. Not today.
Hey, Atticus. Will you be going out to the Methodist for the football game?
What game?
It won't be till fall, but everybody's talking about it already. The Methodist Challenge Baptist are going to touch football for fundraising.
I'm afraid I wouldn't be of much help, son.
But everyone in town's father's going.
Everybody but yours.
Please, Atticus.
I'd break my neck. It's touch. I'm too old for that sort of thing.
Atticus, could you show Scout and me how to shoot air rifles? And later, I mean.
I told you. Just wait for your Uncle Jack, all right? He'll really show you.
Couldn't you show us?
I'm not interested in guns.
He's not interested in anything.
Now you'll have to go get it, Jim. Hey, Jim. Why do folks always slow down when they walk past?
I know some bitches.
Those are his children. For all they care, they let blacks run free and tear up.
And why is everyone always
That's just the way they are.
But why are folks
I
that
have to
way?
get my football.
Did somebody call?
Atticus, I've been waiting for you to get home all day because I've been dying to ask. Do you lock the coloreds?
Yes, I do. And don't say colors. That's common.
That's what everyone at school
Well,
says.
from now on, it'll be everybody less one.
Well, do all lawyers lock Negroes?
Yes, they do.
Then why is everyone making it sound like you're doing something awful?
Well, I guess there's a few things that you're not old enough to understand going on here in Macomb. But there's a lot of high talk going around town saying that I shouldn't do much about defending Tom Robinson.
Well, if they say you shouldn't, then why are you?
I guess the main reason is, if I didn't, I couldn't hold my head up. I couldn't even tell you or Jeb not to do something again.
You mean we wouldn't have to mind you anymore?
That's right.
But why?
Because I could never ask you to mind me again. You see, every lawyer gets at least one case in their lifetime that affects them personally. This one's mine, I guess.
Well, are we gonna win it?
No, honey.
But if we're not gonna win, why are we even
Just
trying?
because we were licked 100 years before we began is no reason not to try to win.
You sound like some old Confederate.
Yes, but this time we aren't fighting Yankees. We're fighting our friends. The Scout, I want you to remember, they're still our friends. And this is still our home.
So, the Tom Robinson case must be pretty important then?
It goes to the essence of a man's conscience.
Well, suppose you're wrong about it.
And how so?
It's just that most folks seem to think that they're right and you're wrong.
They're entitled to those opinions, and they're entitled to full respect for those opinions. But before I can learn to live with others, I've got to learn to live with myself.
So?
What I mean is, there's one thing that doesn't divide by majority rule. A man's conscience.
Jim, hey! I thought I had interesting information to pass along to my brother. Apparently our father was more of a puzzle than we'd realized. Certainly this new aspect of his legal practice was more promising than filing papers in an office. I found my brother unresponsive. Probably the Tom Robinson trial wasn't quite as new to him as it was to me. Thinking about it now, it was probably abuse from the older boys that made Jim so eager to involve his father in sensible community activities, like a game of touch football. All such invitations were politely declined. Then later, something happened that made my father even more of a puzzle. The tension in the town about the approaching trial was already drawn tight, but what happened next had nothing to do with that. It had to do with a liver-colored bird dog named Tim. Why do I have to come home again, Jim?
Because I tell you, the old dog down yonder's sick.
Hey, Cal, can you come out a minute?
It's only Tim, and he's got lopsided Jim, that's all.
What is it, Jim? I can't come out every time you want.
There's something wrong with old Tim down yonder, Cal.
I don't have time to wrap up any dog's foot.
He's sick, Cal.
Is he trying to catch his tail?
He's going like this.
Are you telling me a story, Jim Finch?
No, Cal, and he's coming this way.
Is he running?
This moseying, but walking funny.
All right, I'm gonna call for help. You two getting off the street.
Start something,
Miss
Jim.
Eula May, ma'am, can you connect me to Mr. Finch's office, please? Hello, Mr. Finch. It's Cal. There's a mad dog down the street a piece that's coming this way. Yes, sir. Yes. say? In a minute. Listen, I'm through talking to Mr. Finch. Can you call Miss Maudie, Miss Axon, whoever else has got a phone on this street and tell them Mad Dog's coming?
Well,
Right away.
What about the Radleys? They got a phone?
They wouldn't answer.
Well, maybe Nathan would.
Scout! Listen to me. You go back and stay.
Fine. Shit, scared him that close wouldn't fit.
I don't see old Tim anywhere.
He probably just turned off, Jim.
Maybe.
Mr. Boone, Mr. Nathan, there's a mad dog. Don't come outside. There's a mad dog.
I see him. Come on.
He's coming now, Mr. Radley! You want to pick on me, Cal.
You had it coming.
He's moving just as slow as a snail,
You
Jim.
two go inside. That Tim's gonna matter, right?
What's that?
2 pennies all slicked up.
Indian heads. They're real valuable.
And they're mine. I've risked my life over there, Jim.
Please come soon, Mr. Finch.
We assumed our father would turn to a competent authority figure to handle this dangerous situation, and our assumption was to prove correct. When my father arrived, he was accompanied by the sheriff.
Atticus, he's over there.
Stay on the porch, son.
He's back behind the Radley pecan tree.
Not running, is it, Cal?
No, he's in his twitching stage, Mr. Heck.
Usually they go in a straight line, but you can never tell.
Yeah, the slope will probably bring him back down onto the road.
Cal, I thought Mad Dog slipped at your throat and tried to eat you.
Oh, hush, you go inside.
I want to watch a sheriff.
Me
There
too.
he is.
Is he looking for a place to die, Mr. Heck?
Far from dead, Jam hasn't got started yet.
You better take him now, Heck, while he's in range. Before he goes down the side road,
Jim and
no
I
one
couldn't.
knows who's around the corner.
Jim and I couldn't believe what happened next. We thought our father must have lost his mind.
I can't do it, Mr. Finch. You do it.
Don't just stand there, Heck. Go on.
This is a one-shot job, Mr. Finch.
Don't waste any time, Heck. Go.
Look where he is. For God's sakes, Mr. Finch, I can't shoot that well, and you know it.
I haven't shot a gun in 30 years.
Well, I'd feel mighty comfortable if you did right now.
Jim and I were in a fog, watching our father standing there in the middle of the street. Others were watching too, but we didn't know it then. This was utterly beyond belief.
Sweet Jesus, help him.
Got him! You got him!
Yes, I did. But I was just a little to the right. If I had my druthers, I'd take a shotgun. Ugh.
Dead as a door now. Just a little to the right.
Always was.
Oh, somebody come by with a pickup and take him away.
You two stay right where you're at.
You haven't forgotten much, Mr. Finch. They say it never leaves you.
Atticus?
Yes, son?
I didn't know.
I saw that. What shot, bitch?
You two stay away from that dog, you hear? He's just as dangerous dead as alive.
Yes, sir. Atticus?
What is it, son?
What's the matter, boy? Can't speak? Didn't you know your dad?
Hush, Heck. I think it's time to get back to town.
What's wrong? Gotta go back to working on your speech for the trial?
Don't remind me.
Maybe Tim wasn't really mad. Maybe he was just full of fleas and Atticus Finch shot him dead.
If that Tim was still coming up the street, maybe you'd be singing a different tune.
Maybe I would. I will admit, I didn't feel safer when I saw Atticus take the rifle.
Did you see him, Scout? It was like that rifle was a part of him. He did it so quick.
Well, I have to aim 15 minutes just to shoot the bronze out of a barn.
Well now, Miss Jean Louise, still think your father can't do anything? Still ashamed of him?
No, ma'am.
Forgot to mention the other day that he was the deadest shot in all of Macon County.
Dead shot.
Something for you to think about, Jem Finch. When your father was a boy, his nickname was Oh One Shot. Why, if he shot 15 times and only hit 14 doves, he'd complain about wasting ammunition.
I wonder why he never told us about that.
I wonder why he doesn't go hunting anymore.
If your father's anything, he's civilized. Marksmanship like that is a gift from God. I think maybe your father put down his gun when he realized that God had given him an unfair advantage.
Well, you'd think he'd be proud of it.
People like your father never bother about pride in their gifts.
This bewildering event unsettled our established views of Atticus. It was something to talk about. No, celebrate, but we didn't get very far.
Well, I have something to tell him on Monday.
I don't think we should tell anybody, Scout.
Please, I can't wait to find that Cunningham boy and tell him all about how my dad is the deadest shot in all of Macon.
I reckon if he wanted us to know, he would have told us.
Don't be silly, Jim. It probably just slipped his mind is all.
Nah, that's something you won't understand.
But we know.
Yeah, I don't care if he's 100 years old.
Hey, Mr. Bones, don't say hey to me, you ugly girl. You say good afternoon, Mrs. Dubois.
In point of the fact that Jim and I didn't even get to the end of the street before being slapped down again about our father.
You should be in a dress and a camisole, young lady. If you don't change your ways, you'll grow up waiting on tables. A Finch waiting on tables at the OK Cafe.
I was horrified. The OK Cafe was this dim organization on the edge of town. We still didn't know what was really the matter with Mrs. DeBose, but that's part of why I'm trying to remember this all now.
Don't listen to her, Scout. Just keep your head high and be a gentleman.
Okay. A lovelier lady than your mother never lived. It's shocking the way Atticus Finch lets her children run wild.
I'm with you, Jim.
Keep on walking.
Not only a Finch waiting on tables, but one in the courthouse lawn for colors.
Just keep your head high, Jim. And
What's this world coming to with the Finches going against their raising? Your father's no better than the trash he works.
I don't think so. She has no right to say those things.
She's old.
I'm tired of everybody talking about Atticus at work. Get out of here, Scout.
Hey, Scout. Hey, Neil. Have you seen Jim recently? He's gone crazy. He's tearing up every camellia bush Mr. Bones owns. I thought Jim was the calm one. Not anymore. He's gone crazy.
From things saying about your father?
Yeah, Mr. Bones mostly. But we found out something real special about Atticus today.
About time.
He's the deadest shot and I'll make him.
That's what you found out?
Yep, and it's the truth. So it doesn't matter what folks say.
But it wouldn't matter anyway.
Aren't you supposed to be in Meridian with your folks?
About that,
You're all must and dusty.
well,
How'd you end up here all in a mess? It's gross.
it's... You see, I have a new father, and he doesn't like me. So he had me bound and chained and left to die in the basement. But I was kept alive in raw field beans by a passing farmer who heard my cries for help.
Well, if you were in the basement,
The good man, he shoved beans to me, pot by pot, through the ventilator.
Well, I guess lucky for you, the good man was passing by.
Then I ripped the chains from the walls, and still in wrist irons, I wandered out of Meridian, where I discovered a small animal show. And they hired me to wash a camel.
Well, how do you wash a camel?
I traveled with that show everywhere, until my sense of direction told me I was just across the river from Macomb. So what I did then is,
How did you get here, Dale?
Jim Finch, what did you just do?
I was talking to Dale.
I took $13 from my mother's purse, got the 9 o'clock train from Meridian, got off at the junction, and walked the rest of the way.
Why'd you run off?
I didn't run off. I decided I want to come back. That's all.
Are you gonna stay with your Aunt Rachel?
I want to stay here.
With us?
We're kind of a hot summer.
I don't care.
Hey, Jim.
You guys better get going.
Hey, Atticus. Did you see we have a new visitor? All the way from Meridian. He knows how to wash a camel.
Gil,
Sir?
Jim, are you responsible for the damage to those flowers?
Yes, sir.
Why'd you do it?
Mr. DeBose said he lawed for colors.
And that's why you destroyed her garden? I see. Son, I have no doubt that you've been annoyed by your contemporaries about me lawing for colors, as you say. But to do something like this to a sick old woman is inexcusable. And I strongly recommend that you go over and have a talk with Mrs. DuBose.
Talk to her.
Right now.
But
Go on.
Fine. Go talk to her.
And you come straight home afterwards.
He was only trying to defend you, sir.
I never thought that Jem would be the one to lose his head. I thought I'd have to worry more about you.
Why do we have to keep our heads anyway? No one at school even tried.
You'll soon have to keep your head about far worse things. You know, Dale, your Aunt Rachel never said you were coming to town.
She doesn't know, sir.
What?
Please, sir, please don't tell her I'm
Now
here.
hold on, son. Just wait a second.
He's run away.
He's run away?
Don't make me go back, sir.
Now wait just a minute.
He's been living on raw field beans, Atticus.
Raw field beans, wow.
Please,
Okay.
if you make me go back, I'll run away again.
Whoa, son. Everybody calm down. Let me do some telephoning, all right? I'll ask if you can let on for tonight, and maybe Scout can get you something to go with the raw beans.
Oh, I'm fine. Not hungry at all.
Really? After the trip you had, I think you'd be starving. Was your daddy really as hateful as you said?
That wasn't it. They just weren't interested in me.
You can't be telling me right. Your folks can't do without you.
Yes, they can. They stay gone most of the time. And when they're home, they're always off by themselves. And I can help them any. It's not that they're mean or anything. They buy me everything I want. But then it's, now you've got it, go play with it.
That can't be true, Jill. Atticus couldn't survive a day without my help and advice.
But the thing about your father isn't that he's the deadest son of all Maycomb. It's...
I know. He made Jem go over to Mr. Bowles' house.
And don't you see why he did that?
Because it's his way.
And Jem will be alright. So if I get to stay here a few days, I have a new plan for making Boo Redley come out.
Why do you reckon he's never run away?
Maybe he doesn't have anyone to run off to.
Oh.
So for my plan, we need a box of lemon drops.
I can get those.
We'll put one lemon drop just outside his door, and then a row down the street. At night, when he'll feel safe, he will come out to pick up the lemon drops. And then he will notice the next one. And then the next one. And then the next one. He will follow them like an ant. And then the next one. And the next one. And then the next one. And then...
That's a lot of lemon drops.
We're just fooling, sir.
You know, Dill, you've been the talk of considerable conversation.
What did Aunt Rachel said?
Well, at first it came under the heading of just wait until your parents get you home. Then she talked about how your parents must be worried sick. Then she rambled on about, oh, that's all the Harris in him coming out. And eventually she ended with, I guess he can let on for tonight anyway.
Hear that?
But I thought your parents might need to know, so I gave them a call.
What they said?
They say you can stay as long as you aren't any trouble.
Really? Thank you, Atticus.
See? Yes, they're looking all over Meridian for me.
Nah, I thought you were just tied up at some picture show.
They usually would be right, too.
You know, Dill, we might be going through some pretty rough times here. Might be a help to have you around.
You mean?
There's a cot in Jim's room.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Finch?
Come on, company. Come on up, Hank.
Rather speak with you down here.
What's going on?
Well, there's only two reasons that grown men need to talk in the front lawn. Death or politics. Which is it, Hank?
Could be a little of both.
Then we better talk. You two can go inside and help Calpurnia.
I want to know what's going on, sir.
And you'll stay right here.
Fine.
Deal?
Don't you get any ideas? You can boss me, too.
They have business to talk.
They moved Tom Robinson to the county jail this afternoon. I don't go looking for trouble, but I can't guarantee there won't be any.
Don't be foolish, Hank. This is Maycomb.
I'm just a little uneasy, that's all.
Trial will probably be the day after tomorrow. You can keep him there till then, can't you? I doubt anybody will begrudge me a client with times this hard.
It's just, you know how that old serum bunches when they get shinied up.
They been drinking?
Could be. Mr. Finch, I don't understand why you touch this case. You've got everything to lose.
Do you really think so?
Yes, I do. I mean, everything.
Heck, that boy's probably gonna go to the chair. But he is not going until the truth is told.
All right, Mr. Finch.
You and I both know what that truth is.
Besides, keep you informed. Good night, sir.
Thanks, Heck. How'd it go?
Well, I told her I won't fix her garden. And I said I was sorry. But I'm not. What the heck?
There's no point in saying you're sorry when you're not.
Well, what about what she said, Ed?
She's sick. She's old. I have work.
Agnes, she wants me to read to her.